Hey guys, welcome to this live. I'm really sorry. I think I might have put on the Facebook page that this was going to be at 1 o'clock, but then in my email I wrote 2 o'clock. So I'm sure that there was probably some confusion and I apologize about that. In my mind, I always had it at 2 o'clock. So not sure about that. But anyway, my name is Lauren Keplinger and I am from creativemomboss.com. Thank you for joining in the live today. And I'm excited to be back to doing these. I think it's been like a week and a half since I did the last one. So thanks for coming. I want to go ahead and get started because I don't want to waste any of your time. And I know a lot of you guys watch these as replays. So I don't like to sit here and wait for people to join in live because I know a lot of people are working in the middle of the day. And so this time doesn't really work for you if you're at a 9-to-5 job. So if you're watching the replay, welcome, and I'm glad that you're able to do that. So today we're going to talk about maximizing your time as you market your Etsy shop so that you don't really feel like you're just like spinning your wheels and not really gaining any traction. In the little description of this Facebook Live, I wrote out 3 questions. So I'm going to go over those and then we'll talk about them one by one. If you have any questions along the way or any comments that you want to say, I can see the little typing box thing, but sometimes there's a delay. So just be patient with me. Technology is not really my strong suit. So the 3 questions are, the first one was how to maximize your time to see the most success with Etsy. The second one is if email marketing is really necessary in order to be successful on Etsy. And the last question was what social media platform is best to use in marketing your shop. So I want to start with the first one, how to maximize your marketing so that you can see your time. I guess it's more really your time. Maximize your time while you market your shop so that you can see the most success with Etsy. So I really wanted to address this question sort of on 3 different levels. If you read this week's blog post on my blog, I talked a little bit about this, but I think that it's really important when you talk about maximizing your time management and what you should focus on, to understand that it's really dependent on where you are in the process of building your shop and how long you've been building your shop and what kind of success that you've seen so far in your shop. So if you're just getting started on Etsy and either you haven't even opened up a shop yet or you're in the very, very early stages of opening a shop, maybe you went through the Etsy Setup Success email course, and so you're new to the whole platform and you're just getting started, the best thing that you can work on at this point in your shop is to narrow down your inventory and figure out what you want to carry in your shop and the collections that you're going to organize your shop by. So I often get emails from people saying that one of the biggest struggles that they have in opening a shop and deciding where to go with that shop is figuring out what they want to sell. I think it's common with crafters and just creatives in general that there's a lot of things that you're good at and there's a lot of things that you can do and there's a lot of things you do well. But while I don't think your shop has to like only carry one kind of item, like only one specific thing, I do think that there should be some cohesion to the types of products that you carry in your shop. So you wouldn't want to have like wooden signs that hang on the wall mixed with antiques. You know, that would be really random and also very hard to market because there's no like connection between the items. So you need some sort of relationship between them so that it makes sense for them to be in the same shop. Think about a regular brick and mortar store, like in the mall or downtown or whatever. You have a bookstore, you have a women's clothing store or children's clothing, a store for purses, a store for jewelry. There needs to be some sort of organization like that in your shop so that it's not just like a random assortment of stuff or just like whatever you happen to feel like carrying at that moment that you're making stuff. So I think the next thing that you should work on as a brand new Etsy seller is to get a really good focus on your money situation. So I know that this is like not an exciting part of the business. I totally understand that. And I think that as creative people, a lot of times we shy away from the money stuff because it feels overwhelming, or you're like, I don't know how to run a business. The math is not my strong suit. I don't like it. I don't want to deal with the numbers. It's too tedious. And I totally agree with you on that. I also feel the same way. But it is a very important as a small business owner that you have a good handle on the money situation and the financial situation of your shop. So I talk a lot about this in the Etsy Setup Success email course. It's actually a whole day of the 5-day course. It's like getting your money situation hammered out. And it's really important that you do it as a new seller, because once you get busier in your shop, it's even harder. Like if you think it's overwhelming right now as a brand new seller on Etsy, I can promise you, because I have been there, that it's even more overwhelming from the other side once you get more successful to try and get those things figured out and then have to go back in time, back a year, 6 months or whatever, to try and organize it from the beginning. So I did not do a very good job of this when I was first getting started selling on Etsy. And so then it got even more overwhelming once I was hitting $100,000 in sales, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much money coming in and out, and I don't really know how I'm dealing with this. So at that point, I hired a CPA. But you don't really need a CPA. Like, I wouldn't say if you're just starting out on Etsy that you need a CPA, because it's not really that complicated. You just need to have a good idea of what's going on in your shop so that you have a good handle on the business part of it. So if you're confused about how to separate those or what kind of the steps you need to take are, I would really encourage you to sign up for the Etsy Setup Success course. It's totally free. And I break it down step by step, things that you should be doing, like opening a bank account and all that kind of stuff, to separate the money and make it easier. Even if you decide ultimately that you do want to hire a CPA, which obviously makes it easier, it will still help them to get a handle on what's going on in your business. So next I want to talk about if you've been on Etsy for a little while and you're working at your store a lot and you're seeing some inconsistent sales, but you're not really having the kind of consistent sales that you would like to be seeing and that you know is possible on Etsy. Maybe you have some sales here and there, or some sales from family members or random friends. But at that point in your shop, I would really urge you to focus heavily on Etsy SEO. So I actually did a whole Facebook Live about Etsy SEO. I think it was in like October, maybe November. And you can look on the videos section of this webpage, and it'll be down like kind of in the bottom. I'm like staring into the sun in the picture if you're looking at just the pictures. So I don't want to go into a huge amount of details about Etsy SEO, because it's really repetitive if you're somebody that tunes into these every single week. So I don't want to do that, but there is a whole video. It's like 30 or 45 minutes long, all about SEO and figuring out how to maximize your SEO on Etsy. But Etsy SEO is the easiest and fastest way to get more traffic to your shop. And a lot of times the reason that you're seeing really inconsistent sales, or you haven't really had any traction in your shop, is because you're just simply not getting enough traffic. There is definitely going to be it's called a conversion rate if you're not familiar with the terminology. But if you have 50 visitors to your shop, 50 people are not going to buy your product. If you have 500 people, maybe 5 or 10 people will buy your products. So some of it is a numbers game, but SEO is really going to help you to get those numbers up, which is also going to help you to increase your sales. So I also want to encourage you with SEO to do a lot of keyword research when you're thinking about the kind of terms that people are searching for when they're searching for your shop or your items. It doesn't matter how well your titles and tags are matching each other if no one is even searching for those titles and tags to begin with. So doing that keyword research really helps you to hone in on the words that are going to be used by your customers so that your customers can find your shop. So if you're in that middle section of inconsistent sales, I would also encourage you to try and take your social media game up a little notch. Being on social media and marketing on social media is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes a long time to build a following. At least it has for me. I guess there are people who go viral and they build a huge following really quickly. That has not been my experience, and most people don't have that experience. So it takes a while to build a following, but it can really help to increase your sales and also to build that community of loyal customers who like your shop and they like your products and they're coming back again and again. So the third little section of people that I have it broken down in the blog post is if you've been selling on Etsy for a while and you have had quite a bit of success, but you just want to scale up to that next level. So if that is the position that you're in, I would really encourage you to look at promoted listings as a place that can help your shop get more traffic. So promoted listings are one of the easiest and cheapest ways to market your shop. They are way, way cheaper than Facebook ads and definitely Google ads. I have people ask me about Google ads, and I actually personally have never run Google ads, but from what I have seen and read, you're looking at like over $1 a click for Google ads, and the conversion rate is not that great. So you're really spending a lot of money you would have to have a really big profit margin to pay $1 a click, because that's not $1 per sale, that's $1 per visitor. So promoted listings are going to be way cheaper. And they're also a more like a warmer audience because they're already shopping on Etsy. They're already looking for stuff. So I would also encourage you, if you are in that top level of you've already had success, you already have consistent sales, to start looking at influencer promotions. So influencer promotions, again, are not a short-term plan. They are a long-term plan for sure, and more about product awareness than like actual sales. So this is not something I would just jump right into and spend a whole bunch of money on influencer promotions, because there are a lot easier ways to market your shop. It is definitely like a higher level sort of marketing idea, I guess. So those are my sort of 3 breakdowns of the different categories of where you're at in your shop. So I want to encourage you to really stick with where you are in your shop, or where you are in your Etsy journey, I guess you could say. I see Etsy coaches at times have sort of blanket statements of like, if you want to drive more traffic to your shop, you should do X, Y, and Z. And it's frustrating to me, not for the student, it's frustrating to me for the student when I have a student come to me and say like, I just opened an Etsy shop and I read online that I should be doing something like, for example, influencer promotions. So someone's told them that they should be doing influencer promotions in order to get my product in front of people. And they are brand new to Etsy. They don't have like a business that's been around for any length of time or has any sort of success. And then they're jumping into this really higher level marketing idea. There is nothing wrong with the higher level ideas, but you need to have a plan of how to get there. And if you just jump, it's like saying, I've never run a mile before, but I'm going to go run a marathon. Like, you have to be working your way up to that. That's not something to just like jump right into, or you're not going to be successful in it. So, so stick with the part of the business that you're in right now. And if that is figuring out your collections and working on your branding and sort of those basics, the money and the setup part of it, that's okay. You can get to the influencer marketing even if you're not there yet. But don't jump ahead, or don't see somebody that has been selling on Etsy for 10 years. And like, I've done big influencer marketing campaigns and I've had great success with it. I think it's a great way to do it, but I would never tell somebody that was brand new to it to jump right into that, because it's just too higher level. So make sure that you're following a plan of how you are going from point A to point B, because it is important to sort of have this step-by-step that you're working on, rather than just being like all over the place. And one minute you're focusing on social media, the next minute you're trying to master email marketing. So, and like I said, none of those are like bad ideas. I don't think that it's a bad idea to do any of them. I actually spend a whole lesson in my Roadmap to Success program talking about influencer marketing. I love it, but it's just that you want to make sure that you're at the point that you can run that marathon, that you're not actually running a 1 mile fun run. If that makes sense. So, okay, next we are going to talk about the next question, which is, do you think that email marketing is necessary to be successful on Etsy? So have any of you guys been told that you need to be like mastering email marketing in order to be successful? Because I have gotten several emails from people asking about like, how do I get started with email marketing? My shop is really new. Questions like that. So I want to say that my simple answer to this question is no. You do not need to master email marketing in order to be successful on Etsy. But I also want to caveat that by saying I don't dislike email marketing. I use email marketing a lot for my Creative Mom Boss website. And if you're on my email list, then you've seen the emails I send out and the way that I use it, and I love it. So I just really think that email marketing is a more advanced strategy than where a lot of people are with their Etsy shop. And honestly, I don't even use email marketing for my Funky Monkey Children shop, which is my Etsy shop. And I consistently have around $15,000 a month in sales. So even at the level that I'm at on Etsy, I still don't use it because I don't know. I feel like it's not really necessary, I guess. It doesn't really, I don't need the sales from it. And I have other ways of marketing the shop that are easier for me and more successful. So maybe if I mastered email marketing, maybe I would go from $15,000 to $20,000 a month in sales. I was really good at it, but that's just not really my goal with my shop right now. And so it's not really something that I've utilized. So that's my spiel on email marketing. I don't really think that it's something that you need to focus on with your website. So Brianna, you have been told that email marketing is something that you need to master. There's like a really big delay when I'm seeing these comments. So I'm just seeing you say yes. Yeah. So, and like email marketing is everywhere, and we all get emails from a million different places, shops, and different people. And like I said, for my blog, for informational purposes, or like if you're selling a service, I think that email marketing is really important. For product-based business, I just don't find the value in it. Even like I spent probably about a year building up my email list for my Funky Monkey Children shop. And I ended up with, I think it was close to 1,000 people on the email list, which a lot of people would be like, wow, that's great. 1,000 people for an Etsy shop email list is pretty good. And I, hey, Kaylin, thank you. Yeah, so I spent all that time, and I actually offered a coupon. So I offered 10% off for people signing up for my email list. So I was like losing 10% for everybody that signed up. And I just didn't see the return on it. Like I would send out emails doing promotions, and I would have maybe one sale from the email. So it's like I've offered, 1,000 people 10% off. So that's whatever that mental math would be, which is not my strength. And then I end up with a $30 sale from my email campaign. So I just didn't see the return on it. That's been my experience. I'm sure that other people have different experiences, and some of it depends probably on the kind of product that you're selling. My products are all made to order because they're monogrammed. So if I all of a sudden have like 1,000 sales at one time, that would not be a good thing for me. I would be like really overwhelmed. So if you sell something that's easier to like mass produce, like I talked to somebody this morning on the Facebook page that does candles, and they were looking for wholesale accounts. Like that was something that they wanted to focus on. Maybe email marketing would be a better strategy for somebody like that, where they can do like larger orders, bigger batches and stuff. For my shop or something that's going to be handmade or made to order, I just don't see the value, and I have not seen the return on the investment. So that is my email marketing soapbox. So I'm sorry. I have this cough that will not go away. So lastly, the third little thing that I wanted to talk about was the best way to do social media promotion with your Etsy shop. So I have mentioned this before, and I'll say it again and again because I love it. Instagram is the best social media platform. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to caveat it by saying I think, in my opinion, it's the best, because I feel confident that it is the best. It is the best environment for somebody that's looking to sell something. And obviously that's what you're looking for. Now, granted, there are other reasons to build social media platforms like engagement and community and all of that. But Instagram is such a visual platform, and the people that are searching on Instagram, this is my experience, and I think it's only going further in this direction, is that Instagram people, users, are used to seeing ads because you see ads all the time on Instagram, and they're used to seeing sponsored posts from people. And most importantly, because there are so many Instagram influencers out there, bloggers and whatever other kind of people, influencers like micro influencers and whatever, people are used to being sold to. So there's this whole community or like subset of the population that uses Instagram kind of in place of a blog, I guess. What used to be a blogger, now people use Instagram in that way. And so people are used to seeing those. They're used to seeing the like swipe up and I get an affiliate, what is it called? Like an affiliate commission. That's what I'm looking for. So, swipe up and I get an affiliate link, or go through this and, use my coupon and you'll get 10% off. And then that person gets a percentage of it. So people that are using Instagram are used to seeing this. So that makes them like primed and ready to be shopping, and also just used to moving from the Instagram platform to a different platform to buy something. So if they're, say, shopping, or if they're following influencers who are saying like swipe up to purchase, and then they swipe up and it leads them to the Nordstrom website where they buy a shirt or whatever, they're used to this process. It's harder on different social media platforms to get them off. Like if they're on Facebook, they don't want to get off of Facebook and go buy something from your website. It's just a different kind of community. And so I think that Instagram really does, it just has a different kind of user that's more primed and ready to buy. So I think that while I love Facebook, obviously we're on Facebook right now, and I really love Facebook for building a community, and I think it's better for that than Instagram is. But I think that at this point in the game in 2019, you're kind of spinning your wheels without a huge amount of traction that you're going to be able to gain from something like Facebook, because your visibility in your posts is just going to be so much lower. And you're going to end up having to pay for ads on Facebook, where Instagram, you're going to get a lot more organic traffic. It's easier to get new followers with hashtags. It's easier to connect with people, DMs, all of that stuff is just a lot better for an Etsy shop owner. So yeah, that's kind of all I have for today. Those are the things I wanted to talk about in there. So if you haven't signed up for the Etsy Setup Success course, I would really encourage you to do that if you're brand new to Etsy, or if you feel like there just may be some things that you need to go over in setting up your shipping and your payments and your policies and those kinds of things. It's a very basic day by day, 5 days, 1 email per day at 9 o'clock in the morning. And it walks you through that process. And it's totally free. So there's a link that I put in the description of this video to sign up for that. And you should get an email that says like, welcome to Etsy Setup Success or something like that after you sign up. So if you don't get that, let me know and I can resend it to you. So I also want to invite you to join me on the Roadmap to Success VIP waitlist. My signature program, Etsy Roadmap to Success, is launching February 12th, which I'm super pumped about. And I'm really excited to be talking more about it over the next 2 weeks, I guess. So I have some really exciting bonuses for people and some special offers for people that are on the VIP waitlist. So they'll be the first to know when it launches, and also have access to those limited time bonuses, which I think are going to be really valuable. And I'm really excited about this program, and I can't wait to share more of it. So if you want to sign up for that, I also put the link in the description. It's creativemomboss.com/contact, and there's a little name and email address form thing. So thank you for joining me on this Facebook Live. I hope that this information was helpful. And if you ever have any questions or anything that you want to talk about or follow up on, continue the conversation, you're of course welcome to do that on the Facebook page or the group. Or my email address is lauren@creativemomboss.com. And I answer every single email that comes in my inbox. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope this was helpful. And I'll see you guys soon.